It's Deuce and Mo. Day 4 of training camp is in the books for the Sacramento Kings. Day 3 was pretty interesting because we got to see some scrimmages. That was a lot of fun.
I love when we get to watch a little bit more than just free throws or layups. Not to say, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. I'll take anything. But when you see a little scrimmage, a little action, you know that the guys are excited to play against each other. But we're excited to see it all go down too.
Yeah, and the starting five that we saw in the scrimmages, you had Fox, Keon Ellis, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis. They looked really good at times out there. And they're going up against a unit that was kind of inexperienced. What?
This is just what everyone says. They looked really good out there. We saw maybe 7 minutes of it. Like, calm down, everyone. Everyone needs to calm down.
I'm going to correct you on something.
How many minutes did we see?
It was like 5. But something we did see during that stretch.
Okay.
I want to talk about in a second. But I did want to acknowledge this. With the Kings being so banged up, remember Trey Lyles is out, Kevin Huerter's out, Jordan McLaughlin's out, and of course Devin Carter. Like, they're playing a lot of the younger guys. Isaac Jones, Isaiah Crawford, Mason Jones, Colby Jones, Scal Labissiere back in the fold.
Yeah.
So different guys are getting looks, and it's a good opportunity for them to go up against that starting five. But what I was going to bring up, and this clip started circulating on social media yesterday, was the DHO between DeRozan and Sabonis. It's something we talked about like when they signed DeRozan, but seeing it come to life in a little pickup game where it led to a Keon Ellis wide open 3, you went, oh my goodness.
Of course. And again, because we're all thirsty to see any of this go down with DeMar DeRozan in a Kings jersey. And the only other time that we saw maybe a glimpse of it was when they were practicing at USC over the summer, right? It was, but I mean, it wasn't even fully a DHO. No, he wasn't even rubbing off his shoulder.
Well, and it was Sabonis and him. That was it. Like seeing some other players. And it just shows you what all the options can be. I asked Mike Brown about the potential of the DeRozan Sabonis pick and roll, DHO after practice. Specifically with DeRozan, what do you think the potential is with that DHO game with him and Sabonis?
I tell you what, it can be off the charts, and mainly because of DeMar's ability to pass the basketball. I said this before. You think that, okay, hey, he's a guy that's going to ISO on that long post area, or he's going to ISO right off the elbow. But man, he can bring it in transition. He can play the pick and roll game. And now the DHO game is a different element to where he may not be easily blitzed if he has it going. And so once he gets that ball, if you go under and Domas does the DHO low enough, it's a wrap. If you chase him over and he gets to a sweet spot, it's a wrap in terms of scoring. But his added ability of playmaking, whether it's hitting Domas in the pocket or because of who he is, the gravity of him touching the paint and drawing somebody else, his ability to spray the basketball, it can be really good for us.
So yeah, the DHO game has been such an important part of the Kings offense under Mike Brown, but you add DeRozan to it and the layers, the versatility that comes with him in that action. Ooh. I mean, Keon Ellis got a wide open 3. A lot of guys can get open shots off of that.
Absolutely. And you saw that too. It's because of, like we said, all the movement that's going down. Like, it's Keon making sure that he's relocating so then everyone can find him for that open shot as well. But it all starts with people having to collapse and pay attention to the DHO, to DeMar DeRozan. And I think one of my favorite parts about this is when you put talented people around someone that knows how to screen like it's just this perfect art form, like Domas Sabonis, because he puts in the work, because of his timing, because of his strength, only good things are going to happen, just like Mike Brown was saying.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it in action soon. The other thing that we should talk about, the Kings have an open roster spot, and you're wondering, okay, who could fill that? Could the Kings just leave it open? They have some options here. Yeah. But Mike Brown has been asked the last couple of days, maybe some guys who have jumped out to him. The guy he's mentioned back-to-back days is Terry Taylor, who they signed. It's not a guaranteed deal, but they signed him. And most NBA fans don't really know who Terry Taylor is. But he's that perfect guy that like Mike Brown would love because this guy plays bigger than what he is. On paper, you're going, he's 6'5". Did McNair sign another guard? It's like, actually, no, he's He's an undersized big, but he's 6'5". His wingspan's almost 7 foot. And in the brief scrimmage we saw him crash the offensive glass like crazy. And that's something Mike Brown has mentioned about him is like kind of that hustle, that tenacity. We did one of his games at the G League Showcase like 2 years ago. He's playing for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, right? This guy had
fun.
He scored 46 points in the game. Obviously, that's not what he's going to be doing in the NBA.
Yeah.
But I don't know. When you're looking for an end of bench guy, sometimes specifically with this team, I know he's not the tallest guy, but sometimes you need some scrappy guy. You need a dog that's not afraid to mix it up. He played with DeRozan last year in Chicago, played with Sabonis back in the day in Indiana.
And it's so funny because that is the game that I always think about is that G League game because it was so
he was
memorable.
such a monster.
And it's obviously it was his scoring ability, but what stood out about him was him still doing all the other little things. And you think about the role that he is in during training camp right now, that is how you stand out. And that is how you stand out to Mike Brown. I mean, you crash the boards, you have a fundamental box out. I mean,
you're
a deflection,
whatever.
Yeah, those are the things that are going to get these coaches going, but what about Terry Taylor?
And this is where, what an opportunity for some of these guys that maybe wouldn't be playing on like a second team. But again, Trey Lyles is banged up. We just found out today, Sean Cunningham reports that Orlando Robinson banged his knee.
Yeah.
That's being looked at. He may be out for a minute or two. So there's going to be opportunities for others to go out there and show what they can do. And that could lead to a roster spot in the NBA. It's crazy how life works. What else, if anything, has stood out the last couple of days from camp?
I guess a couple things. I remember the other day that Colby Jones started talking about how something he was going to work on or has been working on or has been doing more of was talking out there on the floor. And then Mike Brown had brought it up. Someone else had brought it up, Malik or someone. And then Mike Brown had brought it up, but yeah, it's all about the little things. And that is one of the little things we want to make sure we're doing on the floor. And so then I go back a couple days ago to when everyone was talking to Keegan Murray in a scrum. And it just felt like every single question was like, are you talking? Are you talking more? And what made me so sad about that is because I'm like, just because he's a quiet guy and has a quiet demeanor doesn't mean that he's not doing his job on the floor. Even you think about it, even as media, it's not like we're all sitting courtside hearing him, watching him talk. It's like you're way up there and he probably is talking and doing his job, especially if that's what Mike Brown wants. That's also how he's going to get that playing time.
Well, for reference, this is the other day during media availability when Keegan Murray was talking to the media.
You come out of your quiet stage, talk a little bit more, be a little more vocal. Is that ever going to be a thing for you?
I don't know. I mean, I just do me, and I guess they think I don't talk as much and have an issue with it, but I just be myself.
Do you feel comfortable with the amount of talent on this team, especially with the addition of DeMar, though, when you're in that zone that you can tell them, hey, feed me a little bit, give me the ball?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be times where, we have 6-7 guys that can get hot in a game, so there's going to be at some point in the season where that's going to be the case for me, so that's obviously a point. It's just in my third year where I have to mature up a little bit.
Hearing Malik talk about wanting to get you to talk more, I mean, he's one of several guys that have said that. Is it, and then you get Fox, lockering next to him now, and is it amusing to you at all just to how many guys take an interest in you and just getting you to kind of break out a little?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't really a hot topic at all when I was in college or anything, so it's a little different here. And I mean, once again, I'm just going to be myself, and I know I'm effective on the court, so me talking on the court or anything like that is more of an off-the-court thing, but I don't really care.
They don't accept that answer, though, do they?
No, they never accept it, but I mean, I talk to Malik all the time, so I don't know what, I don't know.
Yeah, Morgan, I am with you on this. It was funny watching that because even Keegan's like, hey, I'm being who I am.
I'm doing me.
I'm not a quiet, I'm not some loud person. I'm a quiet guy.
Yeah.
You talk on the floor, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
You have to come. I mean, the things that people the last couple of years with Keegan have asked about was Keegan smiled or is Keegan talking?
It's cute. It is cute at first, but when the intent is kind of serious from some, oh my gosh, then it's okay.
There's
guys.
a deep concern, he's walking in and not saying anything to his teammates. It's no, he talks to him. He's just not a loud person. Uh-huh. Can we normalize that a little bit?
Yeah, even though it's hard because I'm annoying and loud and
we're
I overtalk.
Both loud.
Yeah, no, that's
but we're in the communication business. Do we need him to come up and The one thing I did notice though with him is like when he does talk to the media, he's definitely more comfortable.
Oh, I had the one-on-one with him at Media Day for NBC, and he was just so loose, so fun, so smiley for anyone out there that's wondering if he smiles. And it was one of those situations where I'm like, oh, he feels more comfortable in his skin, in his NBA skin.
Whoa, a player in their like early 20s who's getting comfortable with, I don't know, themselves and being in the NBA is a little more comfortable out there.
What I will say too, though, when we did talk to Mike Brown, I think it was yesterday's scrum with Mike Brown, and we did talk about the importance of talking and why they are empowering players to talk more, blah, blah. I mean,
on defense, communication.
But this is the thing. That's a fundamental thing as a basketball player. I hated playing with teammates that did not talk, because guess what? You're going to get a back screen and you're going to get killed, or you're not going to be in the right place at the right time. Like, sure, it falls on the anchor of the defense a lot of times, but you got to make sure as a guard and whoever else, if everyone's talking as a team, the things you can accomplish together is just so much more by doing that little thing.
So day 5 of camp is on Saturday. Mike Brown said today the plan is they're going to do like a game like scrimmage.
Let's go.
Hopefully we get to see a little bit of that. And if we do, we'll of course let you know how that went down. So then they're going to be off Sunday. Then they got practice Monday, Tuesday. And then we tip shit off an ESPN game.
Wow.
Kings Warriors preseason Wednesday nights.
Wow. I'm so excited. I don't care that it's preseason. I just want some Kings basketball.
And I slipped a little bit. We also have one update.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
At this hour, Harlow's has announced we have a low ticket warning.
Oh, yes.
A low ticket warning for the Deuce and Mo live show that's taking place the night before the Kings season tips off, October 23rd.
You guys are amazing, dude.
So,
we're closing in on a sellout.
To all those who got tickets already, thank
you.
Thank you so much. And if you have not gotten them yet, you better act quick. Go to harlows.com or go to the Harlows box office.
Yes, because there's no more space after that. It's not like, oh, we can get you in.
This is not a gimmick. This is not a sale. Like literally, it's closing in, and we appreciate it.
Get your tickets.
We also appreciate if you hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.